Hey, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Cooking with Chaz. Today we're going to try something different. I am going to record and I'm going to upload this unedited. So I hope you like it and you see in real time how easy it is to make some of these dishes. Today I'm going to do a full meal. Pork chops, asparagus, and I'm going to do a sweet potato mash. So what I've done is I have my pot with water. It's already started, and got my oven preheated to 350. So as the pork chops get done, I'm going to pop them in there. Go ahead and get your large pan, heat it. That's what I'm going to cook my pork chops in. And I have a third skillet, and that's for my asparagus. So the most I've done is I went ahead and cut up the sweet potatoes. I peeled them and just cut them. I have them sitting in water. Yeah. So that's just peel them and I'm gonna chop them up. So I'm gonna start with this asparagus. My pan's not hot yet, so turn the pan down a little bit. I'll start with the meat to get it on there. What I have is about 4 or 5 pork chops. I season mine before I bring them home. Before I freeze them. So as soon as I get home, it's a lot of cleaning, trimming fat, and all that. So you want your pork chops. I have a little bit of flour. I'm gonna add some salt and pepper to that flour because remember, I just told you my pork chops are seasoned. So I'm just seasoning this flour a little bit and toss that around. I got my eye on high. I always start out on high and then you can reduce it. And I use about, I don't know, maybe a tablespoon or 2 of oil. You really don't need that much because you're gonna pan fry them, but you're not gonna deep fry them. All right, so my water for these potatoes have started to boil. So what I'm gonna do, move my asparagus over, and these the sweet potatoes, I'm just gonna cut these in chunks because I don't want them too soft. And sometimes if you try to dice them up and you forget about them or get distracted, then you're gonna have really, really mushy potatoes, and I don't like them to be like soup. So chop that on up. My oil is getting ready. I can hear it. So you see the size that I'm chopping them up in? They're pretty thick. Put them all in there and salt your water. And in a minute we'll drop those potatoes, the temperature down some. But you know, with the cold potatoes, it has dropped the temperature of your water. All right, so I'm reducing my heat down to a medium high. I'll turn my fan on because we're about to start smoking in a minute. And dredge my pork chops. And you don't have to do a real thick coat of flour. If you see how much flour I'm using, next to none. That first one in there. Actually, I only have 4 pork chops. Oh no, I do have 5. It's stuck. And my pork chops, I cook these, and I always cook on a timer. Set the timer for like 3 or 4 minutes. And I always tilt my pan so that when I put the pork chop, or if you can do chicken breast, when you put it in the pan, you're putting it in a little pool of liquid so it doesn't stick. And I actually don't have room for that 5th one. So All right, set my timer for 4 minutes. And this is what it looks like when it's up in there. Hopefully you can see. I know my lighting, that recessed lighting is great to have, but sometimes it blurs my shot. All right, so that's cooking. And now we'll move on to the asparagus. Ooh, I left one of my sweet potatoes out. The sweet potatoes, set your timer for about 6 minutes on those. I'm gonna use my microwave. Telling you, this is so easy. So easy. Instead of onions, and you can use just regular white onions if that's what you have. But I bought some shallots. They had them on sale at the farmer's market. I think they were like $1.50 for a 1 pound or 2 pound bag, which is good. So you just do it just like you would an onion. It's just a little bit sweeter or milder, I guess is the term. And if you hear somebody grunting, that's my sweetheart. He's outside working on the car. Oh, he just came in, so if you hear somebody in the background, that's who it is. Oh, he decided to go out. All right, so I just cut that in half and then sliced it. I'm going to use some extra virgin olive oil with my asparagus. So just a splash in there. Get your shallots in. And I did 2 of them. Easy enough. And remember, my eye is on a medium right now. And you want to add some salt whenever you're cooking vegetables and you're using onions. If you add salt to your onions, it will make them sweat a lot quicker. Baby, I think they saw you. It's okay. It's my sweetheart. It's Joe. Alright. Your spoon. Stir those up. Just get them moving. And now, like I said, I'm going to drop that heat on them because they're going to start to bubble up and make a mess. I'm just swirling around that grease. Make sure it gets all my pork chop. Reduce my heat on my potatoes. And one thing I love to cook with is garlic. If you don't like garlic, just try a little bit of it. As long as you're not allergic, give it a try. And I always use fresh. If you don't have fresh, you can get the stuff that's in the jar. I just think if it's fresh, you know when it was cut, and it really adds to the flavor. So for 2 bunches of asparagus, I'm using 4 cloves of garlic. Sounds like a lot, but I'm telling you, the flavor it adds is unbelievable. So I'm just stirring up those onions, or shallots I should say. My timer just went off for my pork chops. I'm going to flip those over. Once again, same thing, tilt your pan if you can. Go. And 4 minutes on this side. Alright. Forgot what I was doing. Oh, my garlic. Okay. So with fresh garlic, you just hit it to smash it up. and chop it. You don't have to chop it really fine, but you know, small enough. You know your audience. If people are hung up on garlic, the sight of it bothers them, try to cut it as small as possible. If it doesn't matter, just chop it up roughly, because it's gonna melt down anyway. Oh, dog. That flew all over the place. Okay, so I gotta get another one. Alright, so garlic is chopped. You're not trying not to step on the stuff that's on the floor. Alright. And what I like to do is add a little bit of fresh butter, but I don't seem to have any. So what I'm using is a little bit of bacon grease. That's my timer for my sweet potatoes. So I'm going to test them and see. There we go. Take my eye back up, and I'm going to get my garlic in there. I know it looks like a lot of garlic, but I'm telling you, it's going to be great. So now, check your potatoes. Just stick a knife or fork in there. And those are about done. They probably can go for another minute or two. So I'm just going to turn the eye off. Now I'm just mixing around those shallots and garlic. Okay. So with my asparagus, I've already rinsed it. And I'm going to cut it in half, just because that's my preference. If you like them whole, you can do it that way. And you just toss them right in there. And remember, with asparagus, it will tell you where you need to cut it. You know, it comes in this long stem. Just bend it. And where it's tough, cut it off. Alright, so now I'm going to add more pepper. You season to taste. We like a lot of pepper here. Let's see, where's my... Okay, here we go. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is put my lid on here, and I'll let that go on a medium heat for about 2 minutes. It doesn't take long. That's my timer again, just reminding me about my... Oh no, I'm sorry, this is timer for my pork chops. So, pork chops are ready. Now, like I said when I started this video, I preheated my oven to 350 because while everything else is getting done, I'm going to put my pork chops in the oven and they'll finish off there. They're 85% of the way done now. And if you were just cooking and you're going to serve immediately, then I would do 6 minutes on each side. And of course, judge based on the thickness of your pork chop. See how thick mine is? I would cook this, if I was going to serve immediately, 6 minutes on each side. So I just put my pork chops on the paper towel. Sorry, cut my head off. I see that. Whatever. So they can drain a bit. And then I'm gonna pop them in the oven while I finish. One, I gotta finish cooking this other pork chop. I had one left that couldn't fit in there. So, there we go. And I know you can see my cord for my mic. I just find that using the mic makes it so much better. You guys can hear me. So I'm gonna move this the asparagus, toss it around a bit. And if you see that your whether it's onions or shallots look like they're burnt or whatever, that's called caramelization, if I can get the word out. And it's fine. It's nothing but flavor. So this is what I do. This is my little trick. I take 1 shot glass of water, and if you have a lid like mine that has this little vent hole, I plug it up. Okay, so no air escapes. And I take that, excuse me, take your heat all the way up. I let it get screaming hot. I think you see what I'm about to do with this. All right, so that is hot. And you're just gonna take that shot glass of water, about 1 ounce of water, and put it in there and put that lid on immediately. And the steam that's creating is going to cook your vegetables to perfection. Now that's something that you can use with almost any vegetable. So now since I got that water in, I take the heat down to like a medium low. Excuse me. All right, so those are working and they'll be fine. Now I am going to test my sweet potatoes. Yep, and they're soft, but not too soft. Because I cook the sweet potato mash just like I do my mashed potatoes, regular white potatoes. I like them a little bit chunky. And I think I forgot my timer on those, on this last pork chop. So I'm going to set it for 2 minutes. Let me clean up this mess while I'm waiting on that. What I do, I like to keep a little trash bag on the counter. It just makes it easier instead of running back and forth to the trash can. Shot glass goes over there. And that's it. Put my cutting board in there. All right, I'm looking at my asparagus, and I want to toss it around. See, look, all that was on the bottom. Oh my goodness, it looks so good. That looks great. All right, so what I do like is a little bit of butter. I can't find my cream butter. Guess I'm all out. So I'm just using some regular margarine, good amount. And I'm gonna pop that in there. And the asparagus is done. Done. You can turn that eye off. Now if you like your veggies a little bit soggy, you know, a little bit really soft or something, go longer, but I don't. All right, so I'm gonna flip my last pork chop, and that oven that I have on 350, go ahead and drop that down to about 200, because you don't want to dry out your meat, but I like to put any meat into a hot oven or a hot pan. All right, and our sweet potatoes, I'm going to drain those. Keep that lid off because it'll dry up any water that's at the bottom of your pan. Now I flip that pork chop and we're going to cook that pork chop 4 minutes on that side. Throw this away. If I can, I like to straighten up as I go. Might as well, you're waiting on the food. Alright, so I'm going to move this to the back. Move my potatoes up front. And here, looking for my masher. And I don't see it. So I'm just going to use a fork. And you're just going to smash those. Woo, hot. Woo, woo. And see, they're soft, but they're not like to the point where they're just turning to mush. Whoa, wait, that was hot. So you can see what I'm doing. I'm just going in here and chop it. Oh, I just thought about something. I got my emulsifier that I could use. No. Oops. Okay. If I can get that to stay. Forgot all about that. So to those hot potatoes, I'm going to use, I'm not going to use the same spoon that I use for that bacon grease because I don't want my sweet potatoes to taste like bacon. About 2 tablespoons of butter. Go ahead and add salt and pepper. If you don't like pepper on your regular baked sweet potatoes, then don't put it in here. And if you do season it with pepper, don't put much. Doesn't need it. Alright. Yeah, so let me get that butter going around in there. There we go. That pork chop is about done. Can you believe it that we're almost done? This didn't take any time. That out the way. And if you have one of these, please, please, please remember to submerge it. Otherwise, you're going to have a mess. And like I said, I don't like for it to be soup. I'm just using this to break down the big pieces. And then I'll still have some chunks. Yeah. Here we go. That's all I want. Oh my goodness, man. Sweet potatoes are so good. And we will add just a pinch of cinnamon. Just a little bit. I don't like sweet, but it does something to the sweet potato. And a pinch of nutmeg. And by looking at the consistency of my sweet potatoes, I'm just going to add a little bit more butter. Just a little bit. Maybe a pinch of salt. That timer is for my pork chop. That smells so good. Cover that up. Get my pork chop out. And put that right in the oven with the others. Turn that eye off. Done. And that is it. I'm going to plate this up. And I think that this might have taken 25 minutes. It's so easy, guys. I'm telling you. I hope you like this no edited version, because I actually like cooking like this. It's real. It's easier too. So I'm gonna pause the video now so I can get my plates out, and then when you come back, it's gonna just be everything on the plate. All right, so I think I was gone for maybe about 8 to 10 minutes, which gave my pork chops time to keep cooking a little bit, since you know, I was waiting on other things to get finished. But here is the finished product. We have the pork chops that look delicious. Oh my gosh. Here's your sweet potato mash and that asparagus. It is so tender. I'm gonna take a bite. See? Oh my gosh. So good. So, sorry. I hope you liked the video, and I hope I inspired you to cook pork chops, potato mash, and asparagus on a Monday. It took no time at all. I think from beginning to end, no more than 30 minutes. If you haven't already, please subscribe, like the video, leave me some comments or some suggestions on what you would like for me to cook, and tell me what you think about the unedited version. So much easier. I can be myself too. All right, thanks for tuning in. I'll see you next time.